So on September 14th, 2019, I posted a video of my initial reaction of the ATEM Mini. And at that time, I was very, very, very impressed with it because of its price point, what it was allowing people to do. And never did I ever think that how much this one little device would have changed so many ministries and allowed them to reach so many people. We have gone through the ATEM Mini. We went to the ATEM Mini Pro. We went to the ATEM Mini Pro ISO, and that's what I've been using for a long time. And even as great as the ATEM Mini has been, there have been some shortcomings on certain aspects of the device that made me, I still recommended this, but there was just some things that I knew that it could be better if it added some things. And it looks like Blackmagic listened not just to me, but to everybody who loved the ATEM, but just wanted a couple of tweaks. And that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to be checking out the ATEM Mini Extreme and how this is going to up what the ATEM Mini introduced and just take it so much farther and beyond that I ever thought this one little device would ever do. But let's go ahead and let's get started. Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you like what we're doing here, consider becoming a patron or a YouTube member by clicking one of the links down below. So I am obviously really excited. Obviously, I used the ATEM Mini ever since it first came out. I have since been using it since I got it December of 2019. I've been using it ever since then. I used to have an ATEM Television Studio HD that used to sit up under my desk to do everything. So that's why I really understand the power of what this can do, because I used to have a full case to carry around dual monitors, the Blackmagic dual monitors, the ATEM Television Studio HD. I had a HyperDeck Shuttle Mini, all inside of a flight case. And I used to take that with me everywhere to live stream, which is still cool. But how much all of that gear cost has now been, for the most part, besides a monitor, has been shrunk down into this. And I am really excited about this because this is going to be going to replace my ATEM Mini Pro ISO. I really wanted the ISO version of this, but I'll talk about that later. But I'm really excited about this. And like I said, I got 3 of them right here in front of me. I am using the ISO right now to do this video, but this is my Formation Sports live streaming ATEM Mini, the base. So I've just finished using that since we had a game today. But on my way in, we got the Extreme in. So let's go ahead and open this up first off. And is my fingernail going to go in there? There it goes. And let's go ahead and crack this open. And I'm assuming, first, I'm excited about adding to my sticker collection from Blackmagic. I've got a ton of these stickers from all the devices that I've used. I'm expecting this to be very simple, very, very simple. And what's included. So we got our normal stuff here, talking about welcome, software stuff. I should start collecting those, but why? There's my sticker. Set that aside. The software, the advertisement for DaVinci Resolve, which I already use. All right, let's take that off. And wow, this thing is massive. I mean, I knew it was bigger, but it's interesting to actually see it firsthand, just how large this is in comparison. And then we got another box in the side. Here, which I'm assuming is the power brick. I'm wondering if it got bigger. Yes, it is a little beefier than the other ones. And then we got our international plugs here. Go ahead and grab the good old US of A version that I will be using. I'm going to set this to the side. All right, so let's go ahead and just see. Don't drop it. All right, let's go ahead and just see the obvious comparison side by side. All right, so let's go over some of the issues that I had with this device. The first thing, if we look at the original, we obviously only have 4 inputs and we only have 1 HDMI output. Now, for so many churches that I've worked with, this is great because you could, well, not this model, with the Pro and higher, you could have a multi-view. But even for churches who don't need the multi-view, the HDMI out would allow it to go to your projectors, your TVs, split this, convert it to SDI, do whatever you want to, and it would send the same mix that's coming over USB going into your computer to live stream. Now, the higher versions obviously have the encoder built in to where it's a one-stop shop for what you need for live streaming. If you don't want to use like vMix, OBS, or something like that, that is your option. You have your mics in that originally they used to have an issue with the syncing of audio. It would get out of sync after a while, and I have a couple of videos talking about that. I think they did some type of software update because I really never noticed that for me. But I know a lot of people have had that issue. Now, the problem with this is, especially with the Pro and higher, the HDMI out is the only way that you could have had a multi-view. So if you wanted to still send a signal out to the church, but still have your HDMI, and I did a video about this, you would have to take the USB out into a computer, into OBS, vMix, or whatever, and then have your projectors and TVs hooked up to the computer and have that do a full screen out. I mean, it was doable, but it was a lot of jumps. The other issue that just annoyed the daylights out of me is that there is no headset. So you can't check and hear the levels inside. For me, I just did this at a game today. I had to have my headphones plugged into my laptop to hear what's coming into this, which works, but I mean, again, I used to do soldering and all this other stuff and motherboards and all this other stuff and, components, radio equipment and stuff like that. So to add another headphone jack really isn't that costly from a real estate standpoint. So I don't really know why they didn't do that. But hey, that was one other pain point. And then also for the higher versions, you could record. Or with the recent update, you can hook your phone up and make this as a tether and you can live stream off of this. But if you try to record out of this, or if you try to tether and use your phone, you lose the webcam. So you only have one USB. And I've had so many people ask me this question. Can I hook this up to a hub? I got one around here somewhere, but can I hook this up to a USB hub and it become a webcam, but then I can also record? No, it can't do that. It's in one direction. So those were the problems that I had with it, but let's see what they fixed with this. Obviously, we have a whole lot more inputs on here. We got a total of 8 actually. We have a headphone jack, yay. We have 2 HDMI outs and 2 USB outs. So again, you could have one HDMI going out to be a multi-view. Then you can have another one going out to be the main program view for your sanctuary. You can have your USB going into your computer, but then also have the USB going into like a drive like I'm using right now to record, like right here, that's recording right now off of the Pro. So that solves a lot of the stuff that has been my main issue. And then also, I use the downstream keyer a lot to do, and there's the button right there, that you can superimpose lyrics and scripture and stuff like that. But I always had to tell everybody in churches that they had to open up the software to do that. I like that. Yes, they've added so many more buttons, but now you could literally set this up and you should be able to control everything from here. That's at least the purpose and hope of being able to do this. So I'm still going to do a full, complete setup because I know there's tons of other videos that are reviewing this device. The only difference is I'm solely looking at this device, not for gaming. I'm looking at this for your ministry and how much this can enhance this. Now, why is this important to me? This comes in at $9.95. The ATEM Television Studio, the original, and the ATEM Television Studio HD comes in at $9.95. That gives you 4 HDMI ins and 4 SDI outs, and it has an SDI talkback feature and some other features like that, but it does not include an encoding engine. So at the same price that we spent for our ATEM Television Studio, this would allow us to not even have to use a dedicated streaming PC. That's why this is so important. So the tech has gotten so much better that what normally would have cost you $3,000 to $4,000 in, bare bones. I'm not talking about top of the line, but just equipment that's going to get the stuff done has been whittled down to, at least from an equipment standpoint, you get your own hard drive and you literally can do everything from $4,000 down to almost like $1,200. So I'm excited about this. What I'm going to do now is take my extra USB cable here, and I'm going to get this all plugged in, and I want to see what this is going to look like in the software. But again, on Tuesday, we're going to have another video where we do a complete setup with this from a church standpoint, like I've done before with the other ATEM. So we're going to be going through that. So let me go ahead and plug this up, and we're going to see what we can do with the software over here. Not to nitpick, the one thing they still have not added is an on and off button. I really wish they would do that, but hey, I put mine on a smart switch to turn it on and off, so it's not that big of a problem. All right, so I'm wondering, maybe I can feed this in so y'all can see what I'm seeing. I'll do that later. But anyway, let's go ahead and cut over here to the PC. And we have our original control here. And I'm wondering, can I open up two at the same time? I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and open up our setup. And as you can see, the ATEM Extreme shows up. And it's, yes, and also I didn't mention, of course, you have a network jack, which I'm not connected to right now. So it actually picks up the other one. So that's cool. Let's go in our settings here, and an update needs to be done. So let's go ahead and run that right now. I do have 8.6 installed, but let's just verify, is there any other newer update that Blackmagic has dropped that I may not be aware of? Nope, 8.6. So I'm just going to continue. I want to see what version is on this. It says it's 8.6. Oh, it's a different build. Okay, of it. All right. So anyway, let's update that. And we'll be back once the update is done. All righty. We are updated. So let's go ahead and hit that done. And let's set our stuff. DHCP. So whenever I connect, we'll be fine. That's interesting. It hard-coded Google's DNS in there, which I think is interesting. All right, I don't use cut bus. We're going to use program, drop transition. I'm sure I'm going to play with these. Right now I have mine dropped. But I think now that I'm going back to a non-ISO version, I might want to keep my transitions on, but I'm just going to have it duplicate what I already have for my other settings right now. So let's save. And let's go ahead and open it up. And no, it does not open up to instances. Alrighty, let's widen this up here. And let's just check it out. Obviously, nothing has really changed. Okay, I was going to say nothing has changed, but right there, we have outputs, and we can set both of our outputs automatically. So one by default is by program, and number 2 is the multi-view. Okay. Now, maybe I will do that. Let me go ahead and connect the HDMI to mine so you can see what it looks like. All right, so we got everything connected now. So let's go ahead and cut over to input number 3. And here is the multi-view, the default multi-view, that is, for the ATEM Mini Extreme. All right, so let's see how we can configure this. So if we cut back over here to the software, and let's go down here to our little gear, and I'll probably do a breakdown video specifically for the multi-view because I am excited about what that will offer. And we're going to cut over here to multi-view. And you can see that we can change a bunch of these sections. So right now, if we click in this view controller, we can click here. And as you see, now we have 16 inputs. And we can go through and click any one of these to make it any way we want to. So we can have it the default setup like all the rest of them used to be, the ATEMs used to be. You can have one group at a time, which I'm actually, now I think about it, this might be a good input to check this out because it shows me all of my camera inputs, and it'll have a green box around it since I'm in preview and cut mode. So as you can see, I'm now showing which one is there. So I guess I really don't need to see the preview big, but you can always do that if you want to. And you can come in here and change any input that you want. Oh, they have an audio status by itself. Okay, that's cool. I wonder what that looks like. Oh, it gives you the full mix of everything. Okay. So really cool. So we'll play around with that some more. We obviously have our labels that you can name, which I will come in and change mine based off of the cameras that I'm going to be inputting with it. We got our outputs, media, which now we have 2 media controllers, HyperDeck control if you were connecting to it, remote. It's not even an option on here. You know what? And this says PTZ control via Visca. I want to play around with that. That's going to be at my church for that one. But anyway, let's go back over here to audio. And we can come in here and split channels just like you could before. So you can have a total of 16, or actually, no, you can have a total of 20 if you split all of them to left and right channel. All right, and we're on general. We have the same thing of line in and everything like that. If you want to change these, hard cut when audio switching, all right? Nothing really new here. Camera control. That's new. Use output 1 or 2 for camera control monitoring. That's interesting. And we can set our main resolution here. So I'm going to go ahead and set mine to 60 right now and set it. All right. So we're good there. Let's see. What else? Got our macros. Properties we've already done. Not a big deal here. What else? You got your streaming info here, just like before. Recording. Again, you can record. I'm using a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, so I could check this off. And if I started recording, it will record at the codec and resolution and setting that I have on the camera. So it should also create, I wonder, does it create a file for DaVinci Resolve, or is that only the ISO? Well, we'll test that out too. All right. Like I said, we have 2 media players here, and we have 4 upstream keyers, and we have super source. So I'm really excited about playing around with that. There's so many things I can think about messing around with that. Yeah, really, really excited about that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead, and I got a bunch of cameras sitting here. I'm going to plug everything into this and let's just check it out. Let's see. All right. All right. I think I've used up all my free available HDMI cables and connections because everything else is still connected to my ATEM Mini Pro. So let's go ahead and cut over to the Multiview and let's see what it looks like. All right. So I have camera number 1, which is a Sony Handycam, and it doesn't look like it likes my connection with that one. So I have 5 cameras plugged in, but that first one is not liking my input here. Don't know what's up with that one. Let me try and connect that to a different one. Let's see. Well, it could be the cable. Oh, and also there is a fan behind here, and I can feel that coming off. All right, so now the camera is there. I don't know what was up with why number 1 was not liking that input. Yeah, that's strange. And then I don't know if I'm hitting a cable or something. I hope we don't have that HDMI issue that we were having before. So yeah, it's showing up on input number 3, and then my laptop is not liking, keeps going in and out. Let me switch. I can hear it showing up. All right, so I moved it to input number 1. Yeah, I don't know. That's strange. Now, granted, that is an older camera, that Sony, but really cool. So let's go ahead and play around with the Multiview a little bit more. So let's change this to the preview, and this is how the classic look. And like I said, we can switch this over here. There's a whole bunch of programs and super sources and all this other cool stuff. So let me change one of these to a super source. And I need to play around with this anyway, because I really don't know the full extent of what I can do with this. So like from a layout here, if we do this, yeah, I'm going to have to play around with this one, because this is serious what they got going on. Yeah, I'm going to have to come back to this, because this is all completely new from here. But this is the initial stuff with the ATEM Mini Extreme. This is what I'm going to be using going forward. Obviously, I got a lot of learning to do, but what I will do is we'll still have our video on this coming Tuesday, which is going to be, what day is that? The 30th? Yeah, the 30th, where we're going to do a deep dive into this and set this up for a typical church setup of how I would use this. Hopefully, maybe I can get to my church and do this, because the idea is this would give me all the same inputs that I would have at my church, because we're using the ATEM Television Studio HD, and this would be a good replacement. But there is so much to dive in with this, and a lot of stuff that I need to learn as well. So I'm excited to check that out. But let me know down below in the comments, is there anything specifically that you would like me to go over with this? And I would try and do it as best as I can. Tuesday is going to be a live stream, so I'll be able to answer your questions as best as I possibly can with it. But let me know, so that way I can be prepared to answer some of y'all's questions. And I'm going to be taking comments and questions kind of like we do on Fridays live. But That's about it, folks. So if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like. Consider subscribing and hit that bell. That way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. I want to thank the patrons and the YouTube members for making this video possible. Their names are on the screen right now. And you too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Or you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ, and we will see you on the next video. Later.